All right, Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha, Quadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of news and prophecy where I link global events that are happening around the world to biblical prophecy to show you sincere, hopeful members of the elect, as well as you few sisters out there, that everything that is written in the Holy Scriptures are faithful and true, and that we are indeed living in the last days of the wicked's empire, the wicked being the Edomites, Esau, Edom, according to 2 Esdras 6 verse 7 to 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, in which when you look up that word world, it goes back to the Greek word aeon, which means an age. Okay, Esau is the end of an age. What age? The age of a wicked empire. Okay, so right here, we see Netanyahu tells troops to fight with full force in Lebanon. Okay, he tells troops to fight with full force in Lebanon. Okay, now first off, the land of Israel do not belong to the Arabians, which are the biblical Ishmaelites. Okay, and them fake Jews in the land of Israel calling themselves Jewish, they are Edomites. They are not Jewish. An Edomite is a descendant of Esau, okay, in which those fake Jewish people in the land of Israel calling themselves Jewish, they are Amalekites, okay, and Amalekite is a descendant of Esau. And anybody that is a descendant of Esau will be an Edomite. Esau, who is Edom, Genesis 36, verse 1. So the land of Israel do not belong to neither of those people. Okay, the land of Israel do not belong to neither of those people. Okay, it don't belong to the Edomites, and it do not belong to the Ishmaelites. The land of Israel belongs to the true biblical Israelites, which are the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians. Okay, so, you know, this has been an ongoing crisis for a long time now, especially going back to 1948. Okay, and a matter of fact, these Edomites, which the Edomites would be the self-proclaimed white man, starting with the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people. Okay, those are your Edomites today. So the Edomites who was calling themselves Polish, okay, at the time, you know, when they had left Poland to go down into the Middle East into the land of Israel, okay, they saw that there were Arabians living in that land. So when they attempted to inhabit that land, when the Edomites, who was calling themselves okay, one moment. I'll put this. Okay. When the Edomites, who was calling themselves Polish, decided that they wanted to, you know, go into that land and inhabit that land, war broke out between the Edomites, which will be the Polish people, and the Ishmaelites, which will be the Arabians. Okay. And when the Arabians realized they could not, you know, beat these Edomites in a war, you know, the Arabians decided, you know, they would make a peace treaty with them, you know. So, you know, Esau, being the devil that he is, decided to make peace with these Ishmaelites, okay? But this peace treaty would not last long because these Edomites, okay, you know, they basically had an agenda to ultimately take full control of the land of Israel, which is why you see continual war going on between the Arabs and them fake Jewish people, which are really Edomites today. So after the war, during 1948, after the war between the Edomites, which were calling themselves Polish, and the Arabians, which are the biblical Ishmaelites, okay, they decided, the Arabians decided they was going to make peace. See, that's Satan right there. Okay. They decided, the Arabs decided they would make peace with them. Okay. Would make peace with the Edomites and had agreed to, share the land. So, inevitably, what ended up happening after a ceasefire, a peace treaty was made? Psalms 55, verse 20. He have put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He have broken his covenant, which when you make a peace treaty with somebody, you're making a peace treaty in order to prevent a war from going on between the opposing sides. So you see, these devils, they decided to go along with the peace treaty, but inevitably they ended up breaking that peace treaty. Why? For the sake of wanting more of the land. It was more of a land grab scheme. So, they started attacking these Arabs again, pushing them further out of the land. You see, he had broken his covenant. Okay. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Which, when you look up that word heart, okay, that word heart goes back to the Hebrew word lab, which means your mind. War was in their mind. You see, they're saying all these kind things, but at the end of the day, all they ever did was continue to scheme to take the land. Okay, his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So let's read this in the NLT. Okay. Psalms chapter 55, verse 20 in the NLT. Excuse me, I'm just going to move that up there. Okay, as for my companion, he betrayed his friends, in which nobody really wants to be friends with Esau because they see how much of a devil he is. Okay. Okay. The only reason why these nations are dealing with the United States of America, which is ultimately under the control of Edomites, okay, is because the US dollar is still the hegemony amongst the financial system. So, as for my companion, he betrayed his friends, right? When you make a peace treaty, right, you're basically, the enemy's trying to make friends with you, trying to get along with you. Okay, look, we attacked you, we lost, how about we share the land? That was not enough for Esau. He said, nah, bruh. We want the whole skedaddle. He broke his promises. You see that? His words are as smooth as butter. Okay. But in his heart, the heart meaning lab, the Hebrew word lab, which means mind, but in his mind is war. You see that? So they continually went to war for decades against these Arabs. Why? To gain full control of the land. His words were as soothing as lotion, but underneath are daggers. And the reason why daggers are some of the most dangerous weapons on the planet is because these are weapons that are small and can easily be hidden underneath the shirt of a person, like underneath the shirt in between the belt, or pants of a person. Okay. And a dagger, somebody with a dagger, is extremely dangerous, especially when it comes to assassinations, if they're walking amongst large crowds. Because let's just say if a person was walking amongst large crowds with a hidden dagger under their shirt, you know, it's easy for them to stab somebody in the back and then quickly put their dagger, you know, in between their belt and hide it underneath their shirt and continue to walk off as if they didn't do anything. So you see, these devils had a hidden agenda, in which that hidden agenda, which they never told the Arabs, was, you know, look, our goal is to gain full control of the land. And they know that the Arabs would have never, you know, just simply agreed to giving them the whole land, because the land of Israel, which is our land, which belonged to the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians, that land, you know, is basically the best part of the whole earth. Okay. In the book of Genesis, that land was known as the Garden of Eden. Okay. So, okay. So, you know, now, like Yahawashai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, said in the book of Matthew, he said that the land, he was speaking of the land of Israel, shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, which the Gentiles is talking about you heathens, which Edomites, which are you so-called white people, and the Ishmaelites, which are you Arabs, you would be heathens, okay? Y'all are not Israelites. Y'all are not the chosen people. The true chosen people are the true biblical Israelites, which are the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians. So don't fake Jewish people in the land of Israel. They are really Amalekites. They descend from Esau, which makes them Edomites. And the Ishmaelites, they are descendants of Ishmael. Okay. The Arabs, they are descendants of Ishmael. Okay. His words are as smooth as butter, but in his mind is war. His words are as soothing as lotion, but underneath are daggers. So you see, you know, especially when the conquistadors came over here to the Americas, in which the conquistadors were Edomites, self-proclaimed white people. You know, when they saw that there were North American Indians coming over here, what did they do? You know, they came crouching humbly, you know, and, you know, the North American Indians, being Israelites, you know, the children of peace, decided, you know, well, you know, they don't appear harmful, you know, that they came, you know, humbly, you know, they don't appear to want to do harm to us. Why not show them how to, you know, live off the land, you know, eat berries, heal from eating herbs, make remedies from the plants, give them our women and such, right? And make it, and you know, the conquistadors, you know, they agreed to make peace with the so-called North American Indians. But what happened in the end? They ended up stabbing the conquistadors ended up stabbing the North American Indians in the back, which is why the North American Indians, you know, there was a saying amongst them, you know, these Edomites speak with a forked tongue, because they'll say one thing, but then they'll do something else. Or they'll say one thing, but they mean something else. So how did they stab the so-called North? How did the conquistadors, which were Edomites, stab the so-called North American Indians in the back? Basically, by putting diseases upon them. Scarlatina, which is a high fever, which gives you a fever so high, you know, you feel weak. You don't want to do anything. You know, they gave our people, the North American Indians, typhoid and typhus, which typhoid and typhus are basically whooping coughs. OK, and a whooping cough is basically a cough where you're continually coughing, and you're coughing so much to the point to where your throat swells up. And when your throat swells up, you know, eventually you began to suffer from suffocation, because when your throat swells up, little air can get through your windpipe. OK, this also led to the internal bleeding of the throat. OK, this led to the internal bleeding of the throat, you know, which because, you know, when you got all that wind just rapidly, you know, just hitting the sides of your throat, trying to get out your mouth, You know, eventually it's going to cut up the inside of your throat, which is going to cause you to do what? Cough up blood. So that's what they gave our people, typhoid and typhus. And that's what typhoid and typhus does. They also gave our people smallpox and chicken pox, lice, malaria. Okay, so, you know, they killed off the majority of our people through disease warfare. They gave our people blankets laced with smallpox. You see? Okay, so, you know, let's go to Micah, because the scriptures tell you there's nothing more wicked than a covetous man. Let's go to Micah chapter 2, verse 2. And these Edomites are covetous, you see. And what you heathens are going to understand is that these Edomites, according to Genesis, the 27th chapter, they were blessed with the sword. Okay, Micah 2, verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. So you see, them Ishmaelites are over there being pressed. Why? Because of these fake Jewish people, which are really Edomites, descendants of Esau, because of them coveting the land and basically wanting full control of the land, because they covet lands and take them by violence. What kind of violence? Violence that includes bombs. Now, yesterday, I showed an article. I did a video on the article where these small hats, these Edomites, who call themselves Israelis, okay, they basically dropped a massive bomb. They call it a mysterious massive bomb on Lebanon, in which a huge explosion was involved, okay, killing a lot of people. So like Habakkuk 2 verse 4 says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not of right in him. Okay. And in verse 5, it tells you that this man is as deaf and cannot be satisfied. Okay. So they covet fields and take them by violence. Let's read this in the NLT. Okay. Micah chapter 2 verse 2 in the NLT. Judgment against wealthy oppressors. And who's the most wealthy on the planet? Because they'll tell you that, you know, these certain faces that you see on the media, you know, Bill Gates or, you know, Klaus Schwab or, you know, Elon Musk, you know, they're the most richest people on the planet. Nah, man. The so-called elites who call themselves Rothschilds and Rockefellers are the most wealthiest people on the planet. They have all the gold and silver. Okay. When you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. Right. So let's read that again. It might be best if I read verse 1 first. What sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking of evil plans. Okay. In killing people, civilians, soldiers, just to take over more portion of the land that's an evil plan. You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out, simply because you have the power to do so. Okay, it's beautiful. When you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. You see that? When they want a piece of land, they find a way to seize it. And their way of seizing a land is what? Bombing, murdering, raping. Okay, taking POWs. Okay, you take it by fraud and violence. Right, fraud and violence. Because the fact that these Edomites are calling themselves Jewish and they are not shows you that they are frauds. And a lot of them Arabs over there in the Middle East, they know that those Jewish people do not belong in that land. They know that those Jewish people are not the chosen people of the Heavenly Father. They know this. They know that those Jewish people, which are Edomites, are a bunch of frauds. Okay? So these Edomites, which are calling themselves Jewish, they're killing these Arabs and pushing them out of the land by what? By fraud. Basically claiming to be the Lord's chosen people, and they are not. They are Edomites. They are heathens. They are descendants of Esau. Okay, when you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. You know, and a house could be another name for a country or a piece of land. You know, a house can also be another name for a continent. Okay, you cheat a man of his prosperity, stealing his family's inheritance. Damn. And those Arabs, they was in that land first, long before them Edomites came into that land in 1948. So let's go back. This video is going along beautifully. Okay. So the order comes despite mounting international calls for a ceasefire. Okay. So Edomite Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has instructed his country's military to continue fighting with full force. You know why? Because this man is as deaf and cannot be satisfied. Okay? Against Lebanon, rejecting international calls for a ceasefire with Hezbollah. The comments came hours after the U.S. and France proposed a 21-day ceasefire deal between Edom and Lebanon, or Ishmael, which are the Arabs, base, which those people living in Lebanon, okay, for the most part, they are Ishmaelites, which will be Arabs. Lebanon-based militant group to make way, for broader negotiations. This is an American-French proposal that the Prime Minister has not even responded to. Netanyahu's office said on Thursday it also dismissed a separate report alleging that the Edomite leader had told troops to moderate their assault on Hezbollah to pave the way for a possible ceasefire discussion. The report about the purported directive to ease up on the fighting in the north is the opposite of the truth. Netanyahu's office said the Prime Minister has directed the IDF to continue fighting with full force. You know why? Let's go to Revelation, the 6th chapter. But before I do that, let's type in KJ. Let's go to the KJV first. Okay. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 3. Okay. Okay. And what do we see right here? The second seal, which is war. This is the second seal. Okay. You know, in which, if you know anything about the seventh seal, these seals are, you know, what the angels are holding back until the elect are sealed with the word of Yahweh. Revelation 6 and 3, which the word of Yahweh is Yahawashai. Yahawashai. And when he, okay, so Revelation 6 and 3, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, okay, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red. Now horse represents power. Like there's a saying in the world, you know, if your car got a strong engine, it has horsepower. So a horse represents power. And if you notice, this horse is tied to being red. Now, when you go to Genesis chapter 36, verse 1, what does it say? These are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Now, when you go into the Hebrew word Edom is Adawam, which means red. Why was Esau described as being red? Because of the blood that showed forth through his, underneath his skin. Okay. Because when these so-called white people, when they stand out in the hot blazing sun too long, when they get angry, when they get sad, depressed, embarrassed, infuriated, if I'm saying that correctly, when they get infuriated, okay, when they get cold, what happens? Their blood begins to show forth underneath their skin, which causes them to look red. So the biblical Edomites are the self-proclaimed white people. And we say self-proclaimed white people because there's no such thing as a white person on this planet. Okay? Look at the background behind the black text. That is white. Ain't nobody on the planet that color. Whoa. What about the movie Powder? Nigga, fuck Powder. That's a movie. Okay? That ain't real life. Ain't nobody on the planet looking at color. Okay? So basically, and there went out another horse that was red. Okay? So power has been given to the Edomites. Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay, who's the wicked? Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them, what? The border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. So Edom will be known as the border of wickedness. And what did the Lord say concerning Amalek in the book of Exodus? He would have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Okay, so that's why the Lord is putting the spirit on these Ishmaelites to fight against these fake Jewish people, which are actually the biblical Edomites. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given him that sat thereon to what? To take peace from the earth. That's why the whole earth is in turmoil. That's why in every country there's riots, there's protests, there's civil unrest. You know, they're talking about a food shortage here, a food shortage there. They're over here burning down these different food factories, you know. You see, nobody can just be on this planet with the wicked in rulership. Okay? So power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. And Salakia, I saw the number 144 earlier, you know, called Halayim La, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Okay, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. And what is that great sword? That great sword is those intercontinental ballistic missiles. So I pray and hope that you sincere brothers and few sisters have been edified and informed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. With that, I'm going to say Shalom is on to the next one.